Come on.
What? Are you seriously doing this at your desk?
Oh, hold on a sec. Whew. Whew. What you say? I was just trying to get the lens off the camera. We can start filming now. Welcome to the video, bro. A lot of people like to observe that in recent times, men have become weaker, softer, maybe more feminine than we're biologically designed to be, right? And there's a lot of different reasons you can argue for why or why not this is. But what I want to do today is I want to talk about 3 things men habitually do in modern times that I've identified. And these are things that, without even realizing it, can, undermine your masculinity, and they can make you softer, weaker, and just less equipped to deal with like the bullshit that comes with everyday life. So, from time to time, I like to talk about the man on my arm, who of course is the one and only Marcus Aurelius. Because one of the great philosophies of the ancient Roman Stoics was this idea of self-denial, which is basically, from time to time, doing things to deny yourself pleasure or cause yourself discomfort just because. And to be fair, I think it was Seneca more than Marcus Aurelius who spoke about this a lot. And back in those times, what he would do is he would choose like a week and he would dress in just like the cheapest rags and eat the cheapest food and sleep on the floor for that week. And I think this is more relevant now more than ever because our society has evolved to a point where, for the most part, on a day-to-day basis, everyone is just comfortable by default. And I ain't trying to see y'all out here dressed in rags. So how do you apply this today? Well, one of my favorite ways is cold showers. And I've talked a lot about the neurological, physiological, antidepressive benefits to cold showers in the past, but it's also a way just to choose to make yourself uncomfortable when you have the option of just turning the knob a little bit more, and instead you can just have a comfortable warm shower. Something else I'll do from time to time is I'll manually wash the dishes instead of putting them in the dishwasher. It's just like a little game to play, like how can I make this a little bit harder for myself? Kind of odd example, but a couple weeks ago I had to meet someone across downtown and it was pouring rain out, freezing, and rather than calling an Uber, I hopped on one of those scooters, made my way there. By the time I got there, I was soaked, chilled to the bone, and it sucked. But I chose to do it. Now, those are all examples of doing something intentionally to cause discomfort, but just as effective is avoiding doing things that give you pleasure. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have pleasure in life. You work hard, you want to enjoy yourself, get home at the end of the day, watch some Netflix, play some video games, but from time to time, avoid something that would give you pleasure. Great example of this is not jerking it to porn. And I think a lot of people are aware of various negative side effects that come with this, like gives you unrealistic expectations, it can cause sexual dysfunction, it can kill your motivation to actually meet real girls, but it's also an act that you do just to give yourself pleasure. Maybe for you like to order a big, greasy pizza. You just get the urge to crush that thing. Or you're just someone who wants to sit down and play video games for 4 hours straight. Well, from time to time, when you get that urge, just be like, you know what, I'm actually not gonna do it today. And the reason that it's important for you to do these things is from time to time, life is gonna put you in a situation that's uncomfortable and it's not pleasurable. Your girl breaks up with you, you get fired from your job, you break your wrist or you break your ankle, and it sucks. And most people aren't used to this discomfort. So what happens? They fall into a depression, they play the victim mindset, they feel bad for themselves. But if you've been doing this discomfort training, you're gonna be so much more mentally tough. You're gonna be prepared for this shit. And you're gonna beast right through it. We could be taking control, Gains, bro. Workout complete. I love making gains. You know what else I love? When you can actually see the gains that you made. You know what else I love? The Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0, because this is straight up the best tool for manscaping so you can actually see your gains. That's why I want to say thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. Look, manscaping is not just good for exposing the gains. Girls also prefer a clean, manscaped man in the bedroom. Not to mention, when you trim the hedges, the tree looks bigger. And the Lawnmower 4.0 makes it easy because it has skin-safe technology to get you a close trim every time without risking any nicks or ingrown hairs. Waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. And Manscaped doesn't stop there. They got you covered for all your grooming needs. Like this guy right here, the Weed Whacker is the perfect trimmer for nose hairs and ear hairs because let's be honest, those are disgusting. I'm also a big fan of their Shears 2.0 luxury 6-piece stainless steel nail kit. Like my fingernails are always on point. And because Manscaped is sponsoring today's video, they're hooking us up with a coupon code you can use to get 20% off plus free shipping. You can use that on any of the items I just mentioned, or I'd recommend you check out their Performance Package 4.0, which comes with all of these things and some other grooming essentials. Plus, they're even gonna throw in 2 free gifts, their travel bag and their anti-chafing boxer briefs. Those are my go-to underwear. Just click that first link down in the description to take your manscaping game to the next level and become a sexier man. All right, so there's this guy named Joe Rogan. Y'all may have heard of him. He has a big podcast, and he's been the center of a lot of controversy lately because he's had a few guests on his podcast who said some controversial things. And I was watching an episode last night with Dave Smith, and the guest, Dave, was bringing up these different people who'd said bad things about Joe. And Joe's response was not to be angry and lash out, but it was kind of to defend these people. Like there was one guy Joe had on the podcast recently and then went on to a mainstream media show and was involved in a conversation speaking negatively about Joe. And Joe was saying, deep down, I really think he's a good guy. It's just more like the context of the show he was on. There was some things kind of like out of his control there. Like this is a situation where it'd be very understandable for him to have some anger towards some of these people, but he didn't even have the slightest bit of animosity. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times anger is seen as something that's almost kind of like masculine, this attitude of like, fuck that other guy, ain't nobody better than me. But really, I think it's a big sign, not only a sign, I think it's something that really causes us to be weak and fragile and soft. Because if you think about it, like, why do you hold anger towards other people? Think about that. If I think back to a time I was really angry, I remember I was driving home from work from my software job, and a guy in a big truck cut me off, and I, held the horn down. It had been a long day at work, and his response was to look over at me, kind of smile, and he kind of stuck his tongue out at me. And I was furious, bro. I sped the whole way home, slamming on my brakes at each stop sign, wishing that I had got out and told that guy, fuck you. You think you're better than me sticking your tongue out at me, bro? And like, why was I mad at that guy? Well, if you think deeply, it's kind of because what he did made me feel like he thought he was better than me or more of a man than me because I was mad and he made a joke of it or some stupid shit like that. Like I wanted to prove to myself that I could have taken that guy. How soft and weak is that to need to prove that shit? A lot of times, maybe you're angry at someone because they're doing better than you, and that's really just like jealousy. How soft is that shit? And that's why I've made it a massive priority for myself whenever I catch myself harboring negative emotions towards someone else, just to let it go. Like, I can't remember the last time I was angry at someone else. Not only is it a distraction and a waste of time that's preventing me from doing something productive, like helping someone or making money, but it's also just like, why waste your feelings on someone who's insignificant? The person you're mad at's insignificant. You're insignificant. There's over 6 billion people on this earth. We're all insignificant. And by the way, this doesn't just go for other dudes. Sometimes you can get mad at your girlfriend or your wife, for example. It's just not worth it, bro. And when Joe acted like that, it made me have a lot more respect for him. So there's a strange thing that humans can do when we're in a relationship with other people and we say, I love you. And look, sometimes we say I love you just because we care about the other person and we want to express that. But a lot of times you'll notice that you say it or your partner says it because in that moment they're feeling a little bit insecure or upset about something and they just want to hear you say it back. Like you're saying I love you so you can hear I love you. And this doesn't just happen with I love you. Like human nature has this sick tendency to go fishing for compliments or feel good statements. And another good example of this is, for years, whenever I had even a smidgen of success with girls, in college, for example, I got a girl's number, I kissed a girl, maybe I hooked up with the girl the night before, maybe a girl just texted me, I would make sure that all of my roommates or friends I was with knew about it. Sarah just hit me back. Man, I got to tell y'all about what went down last night in my room with Bethany. Like, why did I need to tell my roommates this? Let me put my head on backwards so you can see my face. Why did I need to tell them? Well, because I was hoping that they'd be like, oh shit, Sarah, she's sexy, she's bad, man. Like, I wanted them to feel like I was on their level and I wasn't the guy who was not getting girls. Like, I'm on your guys' level, right? Another example of this would be when you're on a date with a girl and you just like really need to let her know early on about that one thing. Maybe it's your job, maybe it's how much you travel or all the different places you've lived or the car that you drive. Like, why? Like, why is it important that she knows that up front? Oh, because then she'll think that I'm someone important. What I'm saying here is that sharing your wins kind of makes you soft. Sounds like a strange thing to say, but you start to pursue goals not because it means something important to you or because there's a deep motivation to do it, but you start pursuing goals just to show everybody else, like, hey, look at me, that was me that did that, I'm important. So what I did to correct this was just to stop sharing my wins with other people unless directly asked about it. And a lot of times you might be hanging out with a group of guys who are all trying to one-up each other. This definitely still happens to me time to time, and I almost have to just like sit back and observe the other people doing it and be like, well, I guess I'm just not going to play a big role in this conversation, and that's okay with me. Like, I don't need these guys to think that I'm just as important as them. And as I started doing this more consistently, I noticed just a much bigger sense of confidence in myself. And like, yes, I'd still have to catch myself, and I still have to catch myself sometimes, be like, but I want to tell, and I'm not going to tell them, I'm not going to tell them. And then you start to like self-validate more, right? You start to be proud of yourself for yourself instead of for other people. So for dinner, big homie Dave.
What's going on, guys?
He dragged me to, it's like this spot that I hate going to. He took me to In-N-Out Burger.
I dragged you here, man. Listen, I'm much more of what's the other place I like? Shake Shack. Shake Shack all day.
We talked about this, bro. Shake Shack is a expensive burger. In-N-Out costs the same as McDonald's. In-N-Out's the best fast food burger.
I'm a premium guy, man. I can't be doing this fast food shit.
The go-to order, double meat, no cheese, animal style, and fries light well done. You got to get the fries light well done here, because otherwise sometimes they just like undercook them or overcook them. These are on point. Anyway, we're about to go check out this movie, Death on the Nile.
It's about ancient Egypt. Looking forward to seeing some pharaohs, bro.
Someone is dead. The crime is murder. The murderer is one of you.
Movie review, Death on the Nile.
A lot of Egypt, not enough pharaohs. 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. Funny thing is, it's like a mystery, right? We cracked it as soon as the death happened. We like whispered to each other. We're like, oh, that's definitely what happened. And then that's what happened. But I enjoyed how it got there. Like, I was entertained how it got there. So I'll still give it like a 7.8 out of 10. Anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you, bro. Seriously. Like, it means the world that you took the time out of your day to watch my video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, click subscribe, and turn notifications on, because I drop 2 new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss them. I will talk to all of y'all in the next video. Stay beastly.